But what happens when the sex slows down in a relationship? Have any of us experienced this? I know I have. Many times. Maybe we got caught up in the best friend energy, and now we're not making love anymore. The sex is gone, the passion is gone. Welcome, this is Unbuttoned. My name is Erin, and we talk about masculinity, we talk about relationships, we talk about vulnerability, we talk about identity and the things that sometimes it's hard to talk about in our spaces, but we try to lay it all out here. So I thank y'all for being here. My first thought is the couple has stopped dating each other. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the first mistake. You don't ever want to stop dating. And so let's get right into it. I want to ask you guys, this is a poll. Have you ever experienced the spark fading in a relationship? Some people don't know what that's like. Some people are like, listen, we've been going at this for 10 years, 20 years, and it's still strong. So tell me in the chat, have you ever experienced this in a relationship? Just say yes or no. The spark fading. I'm going to start with me. Yes, absolutely. Welcome in, Nicole. Welcome in. What's up? I'm her. Yes, and the bed death. Okay. Currently experiencing. Well, I'm glad you're here tonight. I'm glad you're here. I would love to hopefully hear your perspective and what's going on. What's up, Janice? And hopefully this conversation can help too. So anybody else? Have you experienced the passion fading in a relationship before? Or has it always been hot and heavy from start to finish? I find that hard to believe if that's the case. I mean, it could be. But I think every relationship goes through a period of this. But somehow, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, lesbians have the best sex. There's no way anybody could have better sex than us. So how do we get from that to it slowing down? How do we get from that to it stopping in a lot of our relationships? And it's 2026. We done had a pandemic. We done had, the gas is higher than I don't know what right now. Bills, stress. We know who is in office right now, who's causing a lot of issues. Life is tough. Life be lifing. So imagine going through all of that and you're still working on, some of y'all got kids. Yeah, the gas is at war. Some of y'all got kids in your head. I don't know how y'all do it. Anyway, good luck. But it must be really difficult to be in a relationship where, you got to get the kids out for school. You got to you got to do the art projects. You got to do all of that. And then at the end of the night, you got to go to work. You got to deal with family drama, all of this stuff. And at the end of the night, you got to figure out, how am I going to still connect with my partner? When I was, this maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, I started dating someone who was significantly younger than I was, about 10 years younger. The biggest age gap I've ever had, either older or younger. And when we first got together, y'all can imagine, okay, it was hot, heavy all the time. I was like, oh, finally someone who matches my sex drive. And it was amazing. She got the coffee. What's the coffee for? But it was amazing. So we were just, hi Imani. So yeah, it was great. And I was like, finally, this is never gonna end. This is gonna be amazing. And eventually it ended. Eventually things started to shift. I think she was going through a period where she was trying to find herself. That's what she told me anyway. And she wasn't, I'm a communicator. I'm someone who loves to, can we talk? Can we talk about it? Can we have a conversation? And when you don't do that, I'm also someone who struggles with anxious attachment, right? So when we can't have a conversation, my mind goes on a trip. I'm like, okay, well, she's cheating on me. She went back to somebody who's younger. She don't want me anymore. She's not attracted to me anymore. I started, all the negative thoughts started creeping in, right? Which is natural and understandable. We ended up in therapy, but I think by the time we started therapy, it was way too late. we never regained that spark. We started sleeping in separate bedrooms, and we were engaged. So obviously, that didn't work out. And that's a perfect example of the love was still there, but something happened along the way. The spark died, and we were not able to recapture it. So I want to hear from y'all tonight. Like, we're not going to have a guest. I'm going to tell you all about the guest who I wanted to have on a little bit later, but I really want y'all to talk to me, because I am terrified that this is going to happen again in my next relationship. It's happened in every relationship where something happened, and the first thing that goes out, either we're arguing too much, sex stops, or we're not arguing, we're having a great time, but sex still slows down. So I want to know how we prevent that. All right, so let's talk about it. So have y'all ever mistaken like emotional distance for rejection? Or is that just me? It's a symptom of a bigger problem. Absolutely. Were there signs that I ignored? Probably. And I'll tell you the mistake that I made in that relationship. When she started going through what she was going through, like I said, I already started having all these thoughts in my head. I did try to talk to her. She wasn't the best at talking, but she tried. But I internalized it. I made it about me. And that's a regret that I have. If I could go back and change things, I would definitely be more patient. I was like, oh, well, you don't love me. you're not attracted to me. You don't want to, So we definitely need to have patience, figure out what it is that's going on, try to get to the root. Of course, we want to prevent it before it happens, but once we're in it, we got to figure out how to get out of it. Emotional distance is a form of rejection. Absolutely. So what do you do when someone pulls away emotionally? How do you get them back? Not quite yet. So there's a point where I'm going to bring people up, but I got to get out a few things first. But I'm definitely going to bring 2 women in the wagon up and a couple other people. So I'm going to get to that. But thank you, Endless Summer, for that. How do we bring people back? Because for me, it was like talking to a brick wall. I'm like, can we talk? Like Tevin Campbell. And that wasn't working. And I didn't know what else to do. So what happened? We didn't make it. What's up, Shy Loner? Welcome in, K Slice. All right, so we get more people in. So I'm hoping that it's going okay now. It's not lagging. I appreciate that in the summer. You have to have open communication. Yeah, it's tough when one person wants that open communication and the other person is like, just stay away from me. And I think that's okay too. I think giving space is important as well. Like having patience, giving them time to come to you naturally. I'm like at the door, hello, hello. And that's not always good. It has to be mutual, but you're also operating from an anxious attachment. Yeah, I'm healing that. But let's talk about best friend syndrome. All right, let's talk about that in lesbian relationships. Your partner can definitely become your best friend. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's great. But what's up, Rock? But one day, what happens when you realize you're more best friends than lovers? Right? What's more important, that best friend energy or keeping the chemistry going? What do y'all think? I mean, if you had to choose one, homie, lover, and friend, absolutely. That's great. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But too much of that, right? Best friends? Really? I got friends. And I want you to be my friend. Be my friend. Please, be my best friend. But where's the cutoff? I don't want to sleep with my friends, right? Best friends first. Absolutely. For sure. But do lesbians get too emotionally deep? Is that a thing? Like, do we, how we always say we want to get in each other's skin? Right? But like, if we do that, because that sounds great, that's cozy. But if we do that, like, does that take away some of the sexiness? Does that take away some of the mystery? Right? Can comfort kill passion? I think so. Guilty, but unhealthy. Absolutely. It takes away a lot. You know, okay, can long-term relationships maintain both? Can you be best friends and still have that sexiness? I hope so. That's the goal anyway. That's the goal. Hashtag goals. All right, I'm going to say something that might be the most controversial thing I've ever said on Unbuttoned. Y'all ready for this? I'm kind of scared to say it. I feel like y'all, let me drink a little bit first. Hold on. Say it. I don't know if I want my person to be my best friend. That's real. I want to hear why. My ex was my best friend and partner for 11 years, so it's possible. And it still stayed spicy, Daddy's kitten. Still stayed sexy, even though y'all were best friends. I've been in relationships where it was every day, but sometimes it was once a year. Ooh. Damn, once a year. Lord. Now we talking about cobwebs. All right, so the controversial statement. What do you think about friends to lovers? I'm gonna pin that one because I have thoughts on that. All right, so the bonnet, the bonnet, guys, the bonnet. Let's get it out of here. Let's kill the bonnet. Let's kill the bonnet. So it was controversial. I don't know if y'all remember when Monique said it back on her. She had a comedy special, or she said it on the radio. She said it at some point, and everybody came for her because she was like, "Why are we at the airport in our bonnet? Why are we going to the grocery store in our bonnets? Why are we doing that?" Right? And people came for her. "Oh, that's our thing. Don't take that away from us." And da 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 da. I was one of the few people who agreed with her. Cause listen, I understand being comfortable, but at some point, okay, we can't become cousins. All right? I'm sorry. Tish called him a government name. I'm sorry. Okay. So here's my take on it. It's necessary. We gotta have it on. I sleep with my lock cap on every night because these will be all over the place when I'm sleeping. But if we FaceTime at 2 p.m. in the afternoon and you got the bonnet on, that's a problem for me. I can see if it's midnight, we in bed, we going to sleep together, okay? But not at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I don't want to see it. I really don't. I don't want to see it. Okay. Y'all feel me? Y'all feel me on this? Because I know that I'm gonna get some flack for it. I get it. But 2 p.m. is very specific. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's in the middle of the day. Why is it still on your head? Okay. Because that can kill the sexiness. I want the sexiness to stay alive as long as possible in a relationship, right? Okay. And let's say we're in the house all day. It's the weekend. We're chilling. We're gonna be comfortable. Yes, be in a hoodie. But can you make sure that it's not a hoodie that has like holes in it, or because like I still want you to try. I still want you to be. I don't want to say the word presentable. Not presentable, but you know what I mean. Like do a little something. Still be comfortable. I feel that way about burping. Don't do that around me. Yes. So like there are things like that where it's like, and everybody has their thing. Some things turn people on. Some things turn people on. Off and on is what I'm trying to say. Me and this bonnet will turn you away. Every which way but loose. Okay. All right. Okay. And this doesn't just apply to the woman that I'm dating. It's for me also. So any woman that I've dated, y'all could call up all the exes. They'll tell you, when I get up in the morning, the pajamas come off. I don't care if we staying in the house all day. The pajamas come off. All right. I'm going to put on like some joggers or sweatpants. I'm still going to be comfortable. I'm not going to like put on a tuxedo. But the sleep cap that I put on my wigs at night, that comes off. I might put on a bandana, or I might just, leave my hair out, whatever, but you're not gonna see me in what I slept in all day. I'll still knock the Mario. You know what? And listen, always says something that's gonna throw me off. She said, I'll still knock the Mario coins out with the bonnet on. I mean, me too, for sure. 100%. 100%. But like, yeah, it definitely is a lot of laundry, for sure. At the end of the day, I want you to be attracted to me when I'm walking around. And it's not that I'm not going to be attracted to you, but I want you to keep that effort, that intentionality. It doesn't just apply to dates and being romantic. It's also like how we present ourselves. Okay? Okay? All right. So I've said it. Y'all understand my position on it. I don't like the bonnet, except if you in bed. Okay? All right. So, and I've talked about my parents' relationship so much on this show. I've modeled so much of what I want in relationships after them. My mom used to always tell us, both of my parents worked. So it wasn't like she was home and, my dad came home to, they both worked. But she was like, if you and your partner separate, don't let them come back home and you still in the same shirt that you had on, like at 6 p.m. Do a little something. You know what I'm saying? Even if you just wash your face, brush your teeth, because they're on their way. It's that intentionality. When I kiss you, when I walk in the door, it's like, you don't know who I've been looking at when I'm outside. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who just passed by my car. You know what I'm saying? So like when I come home, all right, let me stop there. Let me stop. Listen, I have tags on lingerie ready to pop. Okay. And that too, I've been in relationships with women who've never put on lingerie. Who've never put on, like, never. And I'm like, so you don't really like me? Like, every once in a while, like, can I have something special? Can I have something that's a little elevated from just the PJs? Or not? Can we? Did I ask them? I have bought lingerie for women. I have asked, but also I don't always want to ask. I want you to think about it. Like, oh, you know what? It's a special night. You know what I'm saying? Let me give E a little treat tonight. Everybody's asking if I have the conversation. All right, y'all call me out on this one. Sometimes I have, but at the same time, it's like having a conversation of take me out on a date, or I do have to tell them. Really? Okay. All right. Noted. I will tell them the next time. All right. Well, it's about intentional effort, man. It's just about intentionality, creating anticipation, creating a little bit of sexiness, right? Not for all. Some are natural at it. Never met one. Never met one. What am I doing wrong? Not for all. Someone, yeah. Why do you have to ask? Is there anyone in here who that's just a natural thing for you? Maybe not every night, but on special occasions. Yeah, my partner has to take initiative sometimes or be intentional. Yeah. I don't want to ask all the time. Okay. So what kills intimacy faster? Is it stress? The stress of bills and kids and all of the things? Or is it that comfortability? Is it the fact that we're too comfortable? Now we both in the hoodie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, am I wearing sexy things for her? I just told you, okay? When I get up, I make sure that I, do my thing. And if she want me to wear something sexy, like, I'm down for that. I don't know what it is, but, and that's the other thing too. It comes with listening, right? If she tells me, I like how you smell. If she tells me, I like this shirt that you're wearing. If she tells me, I pick up on those things and I'm like, oh, okay, I got you. Special dates. As long as you're doing it. I appreciate it. Um, I talked to someone this weekend who said she's been married for 52 years. 5-2. 52 years. And her and her husband still getting it in. She said he woke her up on Mother's Day and that was her Mother's Day gift. Just getting it in. Do you know the hope that that gave me? For someone who I've been in relationships for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and the sex already stopping or slowing down. I mean, and I understand slowing down. Like, okay, as long as it's consistent. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't even have to be 4 or 5 times a week. As long as it's consistent, you know? But that just gave me so much hope because I'm like, yes, absolutely, please. Compatibility and understanding. What is the key to that? What have they figured out that some people have not? After 52 years, like, you still attracted to this person? This person still does it for you? Like, that is so, that in itself is sexy. You know? Imagine what they've been through in 52 years. And they still want each other. How many times have they had to exactly repair, conversation, you know, forgiveness? They've mastered the intimacy. How do they reconnect? Sounds like deep alignment and they see each other as people. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that should be all of our goals, right? All right, so now I want to hear from you guys. Let me bring y'all up. I'm sorry, I was just yapping. I had to get out some of that stuff. What's up, my friend?
Hello.
How
How
are
are
you?
you?
I'm
I
good.
am tired, but good, thank you.
It's good to hear your voice.
I know it's been so long since we've chatted. I'm
It
I'm glad
has
to hear
been.
yours as well.
Yes. You always hear my voice though, every week.
Right, right. Facts.
But
Um,
thank you for being here. Endless Summer,
absolutely.
can you fix the screen for me, please? If you can. But yeah, I had asked two women in a wagon to come on and share her experience with this particular subject, and she was kind enough to agree. So I want you to get right into it. You said that you were in a relationship and the passion kind of faded. So talk me through it.
I kind of feel like I am like an expert on lesbian bed death, unfortunately.
Mm.
So facts. For me, I am attracted to women in their 40s. I don't know what it is about women in their 40s, but
Wait,
that's
how
it.
old are
So
you?
I'm in my 40s now, but
Okay.
I was a mess. When I was 19, my girlfriend was 43. So my entire, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I like them seasoned. But when I was like in my 20s and my 30s, there was always a major age gap. And so I had a tendency to get into relationships with women who were consistently starting menopause, perimenopause, like in the course of our relationship. So I would find myself frequently in situations where we went from having very passionate relationships to me looking at them like, I don't know if we need to discuss open relationships, which is not my thing, but just simply because it's like, is it me? Am I doing something wrong? I don't understand how we go from, it being like amazing to it being like months in between. Like I'm not that girl. Like for me, I'd like it 7 days a week. And, funny story, not then, but now I can look back on it and say it was funny, but I was dating someone at the time. I was like maybe like 28, 29, and she was like 45, 46. And we'd already had the discussion about, the impact that perimenopause was having on her, and she just really was kind of reluctant to go to the doctor. So one time, one of our friends invites us to this psychic show,
Mhm.
and she volunteers to go up on the stage. And they're like, you know what? We're going to hypnotize you into believing that you're on a talk show, and whoever you're with, you have to point them out. We're going to put the spotlight on them, and you have to say why they're on the show. And she's a comedian, and I don't believe she was hypnotized. And you'll understand why shortly. So like somebody stands up and they like puts the spotlight on her husband, and she's like, and again, they're all supposed to be hypnotized. There's like 15 people on stage, and she's like, yeah, I brought him on this show because he's obsessed with my feet. Every time I look up, he wants to suck my toes. And so at this point, I'm like, if she says something crazy, I'm probably going to fight her because we're here with like 25 people. And she stands up, they put the spotlight on me, and I have to stand up, and she tells them that I'm a sex addict. And the humiliation that I felt, like it was like some people from our church. I mean, it was like, and it really, really hit me. Like it's something that really stuck with me because it was a frequent discussion of topic with us because I told you from the beginning, like, I'm someone who wants to have it frequently. And now, you're telling me that I'm already dealing with the fact that I'm dealing with someone who's primarily a don't touch me, which is not at all my preference. And then to be at a point
Oh,
where,
touch me not.
yes, well,
Okay.
no, I don't, she was not even a don't touch me not. I meant what I said when I say don't touch me. She didn't want to be touched in any way, shape, fashion, or form. I don't even just mean behind bedroom. Like she wasn't like a hugger. She wasn't an affectionate person, period. Like she just, that was not something that I was privy to initially. But when I did learn it, it was like, we tried to work through the intimacy issues. We were together for over 4 years, and probably like the last year and a half of our relationship, we just didn't. And then I also lost um, just a little over 100 pounds in the course of that relationship. And so I was a lot more comfortable in my skin, and I felt like even more so that it was a strange thing to be out in public and to be consistently complimented, which the weight really didn't change that, but to have so many people telling me I'm attractive, and then to come home and be with someone who tells me I'm beautiful but doesn't touch me. And the conundrum of being, that was a really a situation where I had to leave. Like it wasn't something that we could work past. And we tried, I suggested counseling, everything that I attempted, she shut down. And I was in another relationship that was similar. And the situation completely was different because that relationship had prepared me for this one. And in that relationship, when we started having intimacy issues, it was immediately me bringing it to the carpet. Like, look, I am not interested in being your friend. I do want to be my partner's best friend. But if by being best friend, that means that I'm going to be patting by myself, honey, I'm not signing up for
Fat,
that. And
fat.
so I did not sign up for solo endeavors.
Yeah.
And, I was just reading something recently that said that people who are sexually deprived actually can develop mental illness from it. And I said, I believe I'm one of those people because after like 30 days, I want to fight on you. And so that's,
For
that's not
sure.
where we want to be.
You
So
know,
what we had to do was just discover intimacy ways. And even if it meant things like sleeping together and holding hands, or scheduling time where we are just doing meditation together or holding each other. And it wasn't necessarily what I wanted, but it got us back to the point where we were able to explore the physical side of our relationship to where my needs could be minimally met, and she wasn't overwhelmed and feeling like she had to force something that she wasn't feeling because of something she couldn't control hormonally. But it was
absolutely.
difficult, but there are a lot of things that you can do to encourage intimacy.
Listen, we're gonna talk about a lot the things that we can do. This is my co-host Maggie.
Hi,
Uh,
Maggie.
you said you said a lot of things that I wanted to pause on. First of all, people were asking about that age difference. That is
Yeah.
incredible. That's incredible. So when you first started dating, was it was happening? The sex was happening, but then it just trailed off.
Yes. With the relationship that I was in when I was, um, we won't even get into the dynamics behind that. That was a stupid age gap. But she was incredibly tall. She was 6'4", 6'5", and at the time she was having like some issues like with her knees and her back, and so and she was really like the first person that I was ever intimate with. So for me, it wasn't a big deal when the intimacy stopped because we were like a year and a half in before we even started being intimate. But then when it kind of stopped, it was just, I didn't really take it personally. I really kind of put it into all of like the health issues. And so in each of the situations, it's kind of been, there's been a catalyst. But I will tell you, I applaud people who can be in relationships for 15 or 20 years and decide that the friendship is more significant than physical intimacy, because I cannot.
I definitely cannot. The other thing, did you eventually stop initiating, or because I mean, I can imagine if someone is calling you like a sex addict, and I've been there too, where someone's like, "Oh, damn, like that's all you want? That's all you want me for?" And I'm like, "No, but this is important." You know, I think some people think, "Oh, you just horny." No, this is important. I don't even know I can say that, but
Okay. So as far as initiating, that's a difficult thing for me because of the fact that Um, I have a tendency to date women who that is not their preference, like they prefer to be the initiator. And so I think I make it known, where I am in that moment, that, that's what I'd like to do. But as far as like initiating intimacy, that is not something that is in my purview on a regular basis.
yeah, you know, and yeah, you said so much. The other thing you talked about losing a lot of weight, right?
Hmm.
Um, if you some of you don't know, I also lost over 100 pounds myself. Now for me, it didn't affect the way I saw myself because baby, I was pulling on my 300 pounds. You know,
Hello,
same
it's fine.
same as
That's
now,
fine. Yeah.
right? But I think, but this is gonna be probably a topic at some point on Unbuttoned. You know, it comes with other insecurities for me personally. But I'll talk about that on another episode. But I think people start to see you differently. You know, you might not see yourself differently, but people start to see you differently.
So I'll tell you specifically why the weight was an issue for me in that relationship, because she had a preference for thicker women. And, when I made the decision that I was going to lose weight, and I was like, look, this is when I'm going to hit my goal. I'm going to be in the gym 7 days a week. And she was a gym rabbit, which is crazy. And she was like, I don't think that I'm going to be attracted to you small. And I have concerns about like the skin, like the loose skin and everything, and just the changes that are going to happen to your body. And I'm like, not this old lady who's dating me in my 20s telling me she may not be attracted to the changes in my body. And I'm looking at 45-year-old, boobs, that are definitely not where they were 20 years ago. So, yeah, so when I lost the weight, none of the things that she was concerned about happened. Like my skin, I did what I needed to do. And when I got to the point where I was comfortable in my body, like I was never uncomfortable in my body, I was uncomfortable in my health. But when I got to the point where I was just really uncomfortable, excuse me, rather really comfortable showing skin, and the intimacy had really changed, that's really stuck out of my mind was, maybe she's not attracted to this new body. And I remember going out to the club without her one night, to meet up with some friends. And one of them was someone I had dated like 15 years prior, like it was nothing. And she showed up at the club. And at the time she showed up at the club, the one of my friend that was there was like, "Oh, you look amazing, and I can't believe she let you out by yourself." And she was right there, like standing there, and so she had a lot to say that night. And I made a comment to her. I said, "It's so crazy to me that you can stalk me at a club, but you can't stalk me into the bedroom." And that's when I knew the relationship was over.
Stalk me at the club, but you can't stalk me in the bedroom. Yikes. Yeah, because she realizes that people see you and they're attracted to you. You know what I mean? And now she's in her feelings. But like you
Mhm.
have me at home. You literally can come into the bed, have your way with me, and you choose not to for whatever
Right. And,
reason.
and that was my thing. Like, and I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna get down because I am nasty. And that is an important thing that I make sure that I explain to people
Hmm.
before I get into a relationship. Because you know me, Ren,
We
I
love a
like
nasty
I
girl.
wait I wait forever to be intimate. And but when I do, like I want to be able to do what I want to do. And I don't want limits on it. And I don't want it to be a thing of like we're doing it twice a month. Like that's for the pirates. Like that's not for
What
me.
is what is you wait forever?
For me, and like, so, I was married previously, and we weren't intimate until we were married, and we were together for 2.5 years prior to being married. And then in this relationship, we were speaking to each other for 8 months before we decided to go there. But when we decided to go there, I was dating, that I was dating like multiple other people and doing whatever I wanted to do. And then it was like once we made the decision, because I believe intimacy is an implicit commitment. If we sleep together, we go together. And I don't want to rush into things because great sex will confuse things and have you convinced that someone is um your person when they're not. They're just the person that can make you moan the loudest. So I try to get to know people. And then when you give people good sex, they stalk you. So, you can't have everybody walking around addicted to you.
Not
So
talk.
I try to wait until I absolutely know that I love somebody before I allow them inside of me. And then, I got to get you tested twice before you can touch on me. So
Okay. All right. Well,
I
thank
had
you
to
for
get them
sharing.
down.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
There's so much to talk about. Um, I need your outside actions to match your inside words. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Does anybody else want to come up and talk about like what's been? Oh, no, sorry, sorry. I see y'all in the box. Y'all were waiting. I just have so many questions. So many questions.
Listen, I don't know if my filter is working right tonight.
So
I don't
I
know if
just
this is what
listened
y'all
to a
want.
bunch of
Hold
Go
on,
ahead,
wait,
Pumpkin.
wait.
so I just listened to a bunch of word soup and didn't know what the hell was going on and wanted to be a part of the conversation and couldn't. So I'm like, I'm lost.
Okay, all right. We'll hang in there. We're talking about the intimacy changing in a relationship and how we can get it back. etc. We haven't gotten to the how we can get it back part yet, but we're talking about what happens when the intimacy changes. What's up, J Rabbit? What did you want to share?
Hey, darling. Okay, so I can definitely say as someone in my late 40s, which I'm loving it here, I have definitely gone through this. Okay, as far as the lesbian bed death, yes, it is a real thing. Okay, I was married, my ex-wife, whatever, right? However, one of the things that I have learned is when you said that, and I understand a lot of people don't want to ask for things. When you talk about how you can get it back, anything worth having is worth keeping. And the same thing it took to get me is the same thing it takes to keep me. And that's called
That
effort.
part.
And that works on both sides. So I can say I've been through it, but I know what not to do and who to look for to make sure I don't go through it again. And that's the part that, it does take that accountability. It is because we are the common denominator in these situations. So what type of bait are we fishing with that we're getting certain things? And if you don't like what you're picking up out the water, baby, you need to change your bait. And I've had to do that for myself.
Yeah. So,
So,
but in a relationship where things are kind of fading, have
mhm.
you been able to successfully get it back?
Number one, I'm single, so no. But let me okay. But I can tell you, but I can say that because I have some people that I've dated and we are like the best of friends. I want nothing but the best for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I can say yes now because I see my part of it and I see what I accepted and I see what I did and what I was willing to deal with that did not create that environment. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you got to have people that match your energy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have someone that's like, because everybody is different. There is all these letters in the LGBTQ means something. You have asexual, you have hypersexual, then you have hypersensual, and then different love languages and all these other things. So you can't get with someone that's a physical touch with
Uh-huh.
somebody else that don't want to be bothered, baby. You're gonna have problems. That's why having a conversation in the front end, like, what does this look like for you? Because uh touch me not with me. Oh no, nothing wrong with it, but baby, I'm hungry. So I'm just saying.
But no, you're right that it's a conversation. As always, communication is so important. It's a conversation to have in the beginning of the relationship, or
But
before
does
you
it
get
though? Because
into
a
a
lot of
relationship.
people don't have it. A lot of people drop
Mhm.
hints, but I'm straight no chaser. I'm a bourbon baby. I'm gonna tell you if you don't need to worry about nothing. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is with me. You don't have to guess
You know,
nor
I
tell.
don't guess. Okay. I appreciate that for sure. Yeah, and that's something too that I always say. It's like, listen, I don't want the passion to die. How can we prevent that? That's so important to me.
So for me, and I'm gonna drop down after I say this. Is it worth keeping? At the end of the day, relationships go in cycles. You have to continue to work at it. It's always about constantly knowing that, oh, I fell in love with this person. I want to be with them. And sometimes we're going to be happy. Sometimes we're going to be sad. Sometimes we're going to be angry. Are we willing to keep working on it? To keep going
Exactly.
forward? Because I don't care about anything sexual. I want to know, are you going to be the person that I can trust that make good decisions if I'm down and I can't even make decisions? I'm in a coma. Are you going to make the best decisions for me? I'm
Right.
about the love of it all. I'm about how do you feel about me? So it doesn't matter. All that other stuff, sexual chemistry and all that other stuff, it's like relationships go in cycles.
Sure do.
You know how these relationships 50, 60 years stand the test of time? They understand that. They know that. Oh, I'm going to get on your nerves. I'm going to get on your nerves at some point. You're going to get on mine. And we're going to go through the ups, the downs, the bumps, the bruises, and all of the pain. But at the end of the day, do you both correlate in the same energy that says, hey, we know that this is what we want. And we're not willing to let that go astray because this is what we want for each other. We want to be together. We want to make love. We want to be angry. We want to be whatever with each other. So that's what I feel it's about. All this other stuff, I'm like, no. Because
I
when
get
you
that.
start talking about sexual and all this other stuff, oh, well, how do we keep the spark there? Yeah, we should keep the spark there. But at the end of the day, you start thinking about those other things, it'll take you away from why you first fell in love with the person, why you feel like you want to be with that person and keep working on it.
Okay. I, listen,
Shit.
I appreciate you. Chaz to you. Is that
I
right?
get,
Am I saying that
yes,
right?
I get where you're coming from with that. But I, to some extent, there does have to be a sexual attraction there. Like, it can't just be this, like, can we cuss on here?
Go for it.
We need an ass wiper, but at the same token, I have to be attracted to you and like, um, I don't know. It's different levels of intimacy. I did see that before I came up. You were asking, do you keep the bonnet on in the bed or not, or in the house? Take it off because I want you to get to see this. Like when you roll over, I need you to see what this like. Fall in love with this rough, ragged look. Like admire this about me. So like when I do put on makeup or when I do put on some clothes and step out, I mean, I take your breath away a little bit, but fall in love with the natural parts of me, the pimples on my skin, whatever that is. I want you to see those things. Unless I got a silk press and we got somewhere to be during the
And let
week.
me and let me just make that disclaimer
Tell the
before
truth. That
before
you right.
let me
We stayed
exactly.
up
But I
night.
don't I don't I don't need I don't want my person to be you got makeup on in the house. You got to be looking 10 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying I just need a little bit of intentionality. Thank you for coming on camera. I appreciate that.
Not listen. I never said that that was the case. All I'm saying is how to stay in love. We talking about how the sexual chemistry is there, and then you fall out of that sexual chemistry, and then we start getting to the point where it's like, how do we keep up with it? That's the point. So
Yeah.
my thing was, okay, we're starting to get to, we're not in that honeymoon phase anymore. So what keeps the honeymoon phase for you?
You still have to date. That's something people talk about during marriage. Like when people get married, that's the number one thing parents and everyone say is like, hey, don't stop dating each other. You still have to feed me mentally and physically. You have to still pour into this person, get to know them, their ins and outs. If they're not all the way healed
figure out what that healing phase looks like and help heal with them. You get what I'm saying? Like everything doesn't have to be about the physical, but it makes the physical even better. Like I've dated someone and we had no physical connection. Like it was horrible, but I liked that person so much and how we dated and poured into each other, it made things better. And no, I don't silk press my locks. I was just saying, just in case, like for the ladies that don't have locks, because you know, I can wake up like this.
Right. And I listen, I appreciate you sharing that. So let's talk about, because we talked about the passion dying. Let's talk about how we can keep it alive, right? So there was a creator that I invited on the show. She agreed to be on the show, but then we found out that she's banned from TikTok because she is a sex educator, and I guess she's gotten a little bit too spicy on here. So she's banned for life. But I really encourage everyone to go to her Instagram page. Her name is bde.moves. So
Excuse me, is this conversation about bed death? Because she said that in the comments, and I'll leave. Okay, well, let me go.
Okay, well, thank you, Coco Blue. So yeah, anyway, she's banned for life. I guess she got a little too crazy on here, but she really, her partner, her wife, this is what they do. Her whole all her content is about keeping the spark alive, and I really respect that. And so she gave 7 really simple tips on how to keep it alive, and how to be intentional about it every day. The first one is continue to date each other. We've been saying that, right? That's so important. Dating is really important because it's how you got to know the person in the beginning of the relationship, right? When things were, you had the butterflies. What did you say? Her info. Let me just comment right here. Why didn't I do that? Thank you. I'm her. All right, so that's her on Instagram. Nope, that's not it. That was a typo. Try that again. It's BDE. That's autocorrect.
Moves.
Not bad. Although that would have been good. Yeah, BDE.moves. Yeah, so continue to date each other. Kiss every day. So she says she makes out with her partner every day. So I said kiss, but she says make out.
Okay.
And I think that's an important distinction because we could do the real drive-by kiss, a little peck on the cheek, but she's like, no, like take the time to like actually make out with your partner every day. Protect the novelty, protect the spiciness. Have a little bit of mystery in there. All right. So that's one. She said talk before resentment builds because that's easy for that to happen. Like try to prevent those I love kissing for extended periods, especially. Yeah, kissing is like my favorite thing.
Have you all heard of they have yoga classes and stuff that you can do with your partner that is like super intimate, it's well lit, and they can have breath works where you and your partner just practice breathing to calm each other down or like practicing being one. Like it's a different level of intimacy or just being in the moment with your partner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing that she says too. She's like, have, obviously date nights, but she said have an adventure with your partner often. Like things that you can discover together that, you might not be into, she might not be into. Like when I say not be into, like you haven't done it yet, but you're doing it together for the first time. Tantra classes are great too. Yeah. Have your own lives. It's important to miss your partner. It's important to not be with them all the time. I've heard of couples who work together, wake up together, sleep together, do the whole thing, and they're still good. But I don't think that works for everyone. I think we all need a little bit of space. And that's important. I like to listen to frequency music together that can lead to the bedroom. Okay. You might need to drop some of that in the playlist. The frequency music. But yeah, she says that sex is a collaboration. It means that you both have to come together. It can't be one person all the time. Like, yeah, can we, get it in? It can't be, y'all have to come together and say, this is important for our relationship. How do we keep this going?
I also think that it's important for partners to have their own thing going on. Like I've been in relationships before and it's like we're gonna tag along and do everything together. And that will burn out really, really quick. But I feel like if you have your own friends and your own thing going on when we do get back in the same space, it's like I missed you. Let's talk about our day.
And
You know what I'm
again,
saying?
that's difficult for us, as lesbians. Like, we want to be together all the time. Like, but I think you have to, again, it comes down to intentionality. It's like, okay, all right, let's have some space, and it's okay.
Okay.
What's going on?
I'm gonna drop down, but I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you, Shasty. Appreciate it.
I don't know how to drop down.
Okay, I got you.
Thank you.
I recently learned this, actually. Hello.
Hello. Okay, so I think this is a perfect time to comment. Endless Summer is looking for some input about repair and like being able to keep the spark alive. I think this is one of the ways in which my particular dating history, being primarily distance based, is useful because obviously, when you're not living in the same city or even in the same country as your partner, you have to be a bit more intentional about keeping the spark alive and ensuring that you have a system that works, right? So one of the things that one partner and I were really, really good at was we had code words, right? So during the week, if we during the week during the seasons that we weren't together, we had code words that would signal, okay, if I'm in the middle of a meeting and all of a sudden you come across my mind or I smell your perfume on the air or something like this, we would drop those code words. So in the middle of the day, it provided a little bit of like mischief, mystery, but also excitement, and was also like a really great way to ground each other in the moment, right? So we would just do like a quick back and forth of a message. And then either we'd know that evening, maybe we'd have a virtual session, or we would start planning for what our next link up would be like. And I think also because we had this distance between us, we always tried to do something really, really special. So either we would do like staycations if I went to the city that she was in, or she would come to me and we would do staycations, or sometimes we would even stay at home and do like a whole thing. I remember there was a weekend that we decided that we were taking the mattress off the bed and putting it on the floor. And we had all kinds of props. We had whiskey and we had chocolate sauce and we had this and we had the other. But in order to get there and to be able to enjoy that, the week prior, we spent so much time building up the anticipation and talking about the things that we missed about each other or that we were looking forward to. We also had a thing where like our aftermath of playtime was almost as exhilarating as the playtime itself because we talked about our play. I noticed you teared up at that moment. Oh, yes, I did too. What was it about that made that happen? Oh, I got a cramp at this moment. Did you realize? Oh, yes, I did, which is why I adjusted so I could support your leg a bit more. Oh, yeah, you farted. That was so funny. Yeah, that wasn't going to stop me. And we kept going. I think we also had a really good way where when we were frustrated or when we had a particularly difficult conversation, we were intentional about not letting space let resentment set in. So yes, there were moments where if we knew that we wouldn't be able to have the conversation without using fighting words that we couldn't take back, we would take a beat, but we never let too much air pass between friction and repair, because we knew especially with distance, that can carry over, right? So, and then on top of that, we had, obviously independent lives. We were living in different cities or different countries or whatever. But at some point we started living together. And even when we moved in together, because I moved countries, we never stopped this system, right? So we would talk endlessly about our romance. We would talk about even sometimes like the mundane things of who's doing the grocery shopping today, or who's taking the dogs to the vet, or who's doing this, or who's doing that. All of that was really exciting for us. So I think one of the things that I would say, based on my experience, is not avoiding the reconnection when there's need for repair, because once you do that, that's when the resentment starts settling in. And then, and then we spent a lot of time complimenting each other. I had like pet names for her afro before she got locks. She had pet names for my boobs. We like to, tend each other. Like she would like tweeze my beard, or I'd rub her feet. So like anything to really cultivate a culture of constantly having intimacy that wasn't always with an O as the end goal, right?
Yeah.
So I think that those are the things that I've experienced. And then, of course, there were moments where there were lulls, especially once we moved in with each other, there would be lulls. But then again, work kept us moving all of the time. So either I'm going for a work trip or she's going for a work trip. And when those moments would happen, we would capitalize on them by making sure that when we came back together, we did something that would help us be right back in our intimacy, right? Whether it is cooking together, going for a long drive, I don't know, going for a spa date together. And there's something profoundly like grounding and unifying about going for couples massages. And yeah, so you get undressed, and then they massage you, and you're all in, and you have all of the good juices, and you go home and you use that. So yeah.
Finding intimacy in normal things is incredibly sexy. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why it's important, like we just said, to have that time apart, but also to come together and to do little things together. Like cooking is great. I think that's one of my favorite things to do. Or even if I'm cooking and you're just refilling my wine glass, or, but we're having a conversation. Like, these are the things, this is part of the foreplay. If we're at work, we're texting each other, like, and it doesn't have to necessarily be like we're sexting, but we're talking, we're having an intentional conversation that is going to lead somewhere naturally. You said something that our guest from last week was talking about. She said, the O does not have to be the focus all the time. It's about the connection. It's about having fun. It's, you can have so much pleasure before you even get to the O, right? And then, so you said that. And then she also said to talk about it after. What did you like about that? I noticed, this was really, you really like this, or maybe you didn't like this so much. Like, have those conversations, because that's going to help you do it better next time too. Yes, and once that intimacy slips, the relationship starts to break down. Absolutely.
It does. One very, very quick way to reground yourselves in the moment is whether you have a song that is a song that you really enjoy, or a song that you think is really ridiculous. You put one of the two on and dance. I can't tell you how many times, like, so one of my exes was in events, in addition to being a corporate woman, she also used to organize events. And when she would organize, I'd take on a responsibility for the night. Our housekeeper would take on a responsibility for the night, because, we kind of weaved her into the family. And then she would obviously be working the room. But I kid you not, every single event she hosted, she would talk to the DJ, and we would fly the DJs in. She would talk to the DJ and say to them, at some point during the night, I need you to play this song. She'd never tell me which song it was, but it would always be one of our songs of the moment. Once that song comes on, regardless of where either of us were in the space at the time, we would lock in and find each other and share a dance. And when I say that, this was so significant because we lived in a place where it really wasn't safe for us to be like very open about our relationship, but we would find each other in that moment and we would enjoy that dance. And for some reason, the people who were close friends of ours would kind of like create a cocoon around us in those moments. So we would have that, and then we go back to business as usual once the song is over. But those little intentional moments that we crafted for each other really, really made a difference. Especially being in a place that didn't really want to see people like us. Yeah. So dancing, even at home, get naked and dance. It's very powerful.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I think all those things are great. I mean, I love the intentionality behind, just putting on the song when you're in a room together. That's really dope. But I have a question. Can a relationship survive long term without sex? We're not talking about, somebody, got disabled and the other person is not their caregiver. We're talking about two healthy people in a relationship. Can a relationship survive long term without sex? Can we just be best friends and that's good enough for us? How long is long term?
Well, one of your panel contributors this evening said yes. She said she doesn't care about the sex; she cares about the other stuff. Yeah, and I feel like other commenters have said a variety of things that mean no, because desire is important for some people. And I mean, personally, I'll speak for myself. If it is just to say this person is my best friend, then I'd much rather we keep those very crisp boundaries and you live in your house and I live in my house and we are friends and we do the things that friends do. But if I'm also saying that this is a person that I'm intentionally in love with and I'm doing life with you, if there is no medical reason preventing us from sharing physical desire and passion, then I don't understand why we're abstaining. I don't understand why we are foregoing that, which I believe is part of my divine right on this earth. So yeah, I wouldn't abide that.
Yeah, and that's something we should say as well, is that people get married for a lot of reasons. There are people who are married and there's no sexual element, and for those people, I guess they have open relationships. That's on them. But if I'm married to you, yes, I definitely expect to have a vibrant and active sex life. That's very important to me. And I just, I've gotten so much shame from partners of mine who were like, well, that's the only thing on your mind. That's all you care about. And I'm like, no, it's not actually. Like, this is important for our relationship. It's not just something to make our bodies feel good. It's about connection, for sure. I need some sweet name calling and hair pulling. Okay, Tish. Okay. All right. I love a good hair pull. I talked to y'all about some of my kinks last time. That's one of them. Okay. I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't think relationships fail because the spark fades. I think they fail when people stop fighting for each other, when people stop being intentional, when people get lazy, when people, just let all the pressure of the outside world get to them. And instead of coming together, you let that pull you apart, because attraction is going to change. We're not going to look the same as we did when we first got together 20 years ago. Okay. Bodies are going to change. Stress changes us. But intimacy, that has to be protected. You have to protect it. It's not something the chemistry is not going to naturally last forever. You have to recreate that over and over and over again. So yeah, the real love isn't about not finding someone that you will never lose chemistry with. I don't think that's realistic. I think real love is about finding someone who's willing to rebuild it with you time and time again. Yeah, life can get in the way, but what do we do about that, right? All right, so before we wrap it up tonight, I do want to share that Unbuttoned is going on a bit of a hiatus. I'm going to take off 2 weeks. And it's because I believe that when you are passionate about something, like as passionate as I am about Unbuttoned, I need rest. I put a lot of time and energy into the show, and this is a good time to say if you want to support the show, the link is in my bio. There are many ways to support it, and I do appreciate y'all supporting by being here and sharing it and liking it and all the things. But please check out the link in my bio also. But yeah, I really want to make this a place that you guys want to be, and I want to be intentional about it. We're talking about being intentional in relationships, and I really want to continue to be intentional with Unbuttoned. And in order to do that, I am going to take a little bit of time off. So we're going to wrap up season 2 tonight. Thank you. We're going to wrap up season 2 tonight and then come back for season 3 June 1st. And we're going to have an incredible show on June 1st. So I thank y'all as always for being here and for supporting me and for lending your voices and for having these great conversations. Yeah, I think we're going to end it there. And this was great. You were just about to get on camera. Listen, come on up. I don't think you've ever gotten on camera in here, J Rabbit. This will be the perfect time because we're taking 2 weeks off after this. Come on up. We got time. Just nope, I'll wait. Okay. Boo. All right, no problem.
Well, Erin, I just want to say on behalf of all of the people and the women and the folks that come here, that we support you prioritizing your rest. It's important, take the time, reboot, revamp. And I believe everybody will be here waiting for you when you come back on the bed.
I hope so. I hope you all come back, and I hope you bring a friend when you come back.
It's a lovely space, and I think if people will agree and align, we get a lot out of the space every week, and the hope is that you're getting a lot out of it as well. So yeah.
I do. I get so much out of it, and that's why I love it here. So thank y'all. Oh yeah, and I will still be doing Thursday nights, late night with E. So I'm not gonna disappear. Y'all still gonna see me. So, but I'm gonna just be stepping back from Unbuttoned just for 2 weeks. Absolutely. All right, J Rabbit, let's go. We waiting. Let's go.
Oh, y'all want me to do a little dance? Let's shake
There
it.
you go. Oh,
Wait,
let
hold
me
on.
get-
So you came and you just gave us the guns show.
You got a little.
Let's go. And
Yes.
she got on the pride dress tonight. Let's go.
Yes.
Oh.
We want to thank everybody for coming tonight.
What did we do to
Everybody give a
deserve
round of
this?
applause. Yes.
This is why I love Unbuttoned. Thank y'all. Thank you, J Rabbit.
Oh, what's this other one, right?
Oh. You trying to get us banned is what you're trying to do. She's trying to get us banned. Thank you. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming on.
No wig, no makeup. Y'all got me tonight.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, y'all have been amazing. I really appreciate y'all. And when I see y'all again, it's gonna be worth it. Y'all gonna thank me for taking a break. So thank y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see y'all when I get back.
Bye.
All right, good night, y'all.